case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In the 1992 case, State v. Rhodes, the Supreme Court of Ohio, addressed the issue of whether a defendant charged with murder could be found guilty of voluntary manslaughter if they acted under sudden passion or in a sudden fit of rage caused by serious provocation from the victim. The court was required to determine whether the trial court properly instructed the jury on the burden of proof and the mitigating circumstances needed to find a defendant guilty of voluntary manslaughter rather than murder. The case arose from an incident wherein the defendant caused another person's death during an argument or fight with the victim. The central question was whether the defendant had presented enough evidence to establish the mitigating circumstances required by the law for a finding of voluntary manslaughter. The court held that the trial court should have instructed the jury on the prosecution's burden to prove the murder beyond a reasonable doubt, the defendant's obligation to present evidence of extreme emotional distress, and the prosecution's duty to prove that the defendant was not genuinely distressed. However, the defendant was not required to prove their emotional distress beyond a reasonable doubt, and only one of the mitigating circumstances needed to be established. Ultimately, the court found that placing the burden of proof on the defendant to prove the mitigating circumstances of voluntary manslaughter by a preponderance of the evidence was constitutional and upheld the trial court's decision.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit LSD.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.